This One's Wife. Back to School. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. September is upon us, and yes, it is the birthday month of your glorious narrator. Thank you to those of you who remembered and have been wishing me birthday felicitations. Most kind of you. Naturally, if you want to ensure that the chocolatey velvety voice of your glorious narrator stays that way, you can make a birthday donation to the Appreciation Fund to ensure that I'm kept in the dirts, which is the champagne in case you're not familiar. All you need to do is go to the Knowledge Vault and find Appreciation, and you can make a suitable donation, or you can give super thanks when you comment with your birthday wishes. Thank you in advance to those of you that do so. But September is here, and that may cause you to recall in your youth, when you were a child, singing along to this. Look for signs that summer's done, winter's drawing near. Watch the changing colours come, turning of the year. Yes, that hymn around harvest time as autumn comes along. And you may also have recited this. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruit the vines that round the thatch eaves run, to bend with apples the mossed cottage trees, and fill all fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel, to set budding more, and still more, later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'er-brimmed their clammy cells. But for the Northern Hemisphere, summer is receding and autumn advances. Of course, reversed for our Antipodean cousins down under. But in the Northern Hemisphere and in other places too, it's back to school, and September is associated with that return. As frazzled parents go, thank goodness the crotch gobblings have gone back to academia. Phew, no longer do I have to think of things for them to do and put up with them yelling, I'm bored. And of course, who other than the living saint that has been sent amongst us to guide and educate us as the best way to live our lives than this one's wife to pop along with her back-to-school tips? Yes, this isn't just a wannabe politician or broadcaster, podcaster, fashion icon extraordinaire who is brilliant at crafting and cooking and baking and smiling and turning up and being a wife and a mother and a royal. No, she's got many strings to her bow, and one of them is about her back-to-school tips. Yes, you didn't know that, did you? But you're in for a treat, because this one's wife is going to tell you how it's all about getting back to school. And Janine Henney has taken up the mantle of sharing the wisdom of this one's wife with an arse-kissing supine publication PR puff piece in people.com. With Prince Archie 6 and Princess Lilibet 4 heading back to school, this one's wife is sharing her favourite ways to make the transition smoother and more meaningful. You see, you're not just transitioning back to school. It needs to be done in a meaningful fashion. Yes. It has to be anchored in some knowing, or perhaps provided with an infusion of joy, because anything that's worth doing ought to be done with meaningfulness. This one's wife tells us, never underestimate the value of a handwritten note. What, sort of like, I've got a gun, put all the cash in the bag, or $2 million, or the next time this will be a hand that we're sending you. with that kind of handwritten note? Well, according to this one's wife, scribble something for your little one and tuck it in their lunchbox. A joke, a little poem, your own version of Mad Libs, whatever that is, or just a sentence telling your child what your favourite thing about them is or how much you love them. Who doesn't appreciate being thought of? Yes, there you are. You've woken up late and you've realised that you haven't got the right size of plimsolls for your child, and you're frantically trying to organise that they gather a pair of hand-me-downs from an older sibling whilst you're frantically putting together their lunchboxes, but naturally you must pause and consider, no, don't eat that, stop eating the cat's food, you say to your youngest child, whilst you're thinking, I need to compose a poem for each of my children to put in their lunchboxes. Oh, goodness me, where is inspiration when I need it? No, I can't go with a poem. Well, I'll tell them a joke. Once upon a time, there was a prostitute. No, I don't think I can go with that one. That's a bit unsuitable. I know, I'll just tell them that my favourite thing about them. I love it when you're not here. No, I can't say that. That'll crush their self-esteem. Oh, fuck it, I can't be bothered. This is the preposterousness of this one's wife, whereby, once again, being utterly clueless because she didn't know what a lunchbox was. And as Crazy Days and Nights has reported, the parents at the school have said she's never done a drop-off or a pick-up. And if that is correct, and it's entirely believable, what does this one's wife know about preparatory work in the morning? She's probably still lying in her nest, snoozing through the fumes of last night's alcoholic imbibement as the nanny gets the littles off to school. And yet, of course, the living saint is there telling us all about how you, yes, you, the proles, ought to be spending your time scribbling something for your little one and tuck it in their lunchbox. Imagine if you did that. Your kid opens it and goes, what's this? And they'll just throw it to one side. A mum's left a shopping list in by mistake. Where's my Dairily Lunchable? Where are my sandwiches? Where's my fruit shoot? All of those kind of things. That's what I'm more interested in. I'm not bothered about, what's this, a poem? It doesn't make any sense. Must have been dropped in there by mistake. What kid's going to want that? But of course, she wanks on. And that validation from a parent when they're going back into school may be just the boost your child needs, whether in pre-K or as a teen. If it's in your handwriting, even better. Well, if it's in your handwriting, this one's wife, the kids won't be able to read it with all of your death scythes that are put all through it. She also tells us about a backpack surprise. No, not £40 of Semtex, but nestle a sweet something, not suggesting candy, into their backpack on the first Friday back to school. The first week can have a lot of big feelings, and a little nod to let them know you see them is so special. Of course you see them. They're in front of you every day. Try a tiny pack of stickers, a funny photo of your family, or an unexpected surprise, like something you used to find in a Cracker Jack box. It doesn't have to cost much at all. Just a little trinket to celebrate the first week, tucked in as a surprise. Love is in the details. So whilst you're trying to ensure that your child has got all of their books and that they've got their PE kit and that they've got the appropriate equipment for their science class, you're also expected to think, have I got a tiny pack of stickers? No, I haven't had a chance to go and buy the latest Match Attacks. I haven't had a chance to go and get the Panini sticker book album. Stickers. Oh, I know, I'll just chuck a packet of Elastoplast in. That'll do. There we are. And then we're on to lunchboxes. If your kids are like mine, they love breakfast for dinner, just as I did when I was young. Swap out a sandwich for waffles or pancakes. You can use the frozen ones. A mini packet or scoop of jam, some bacon and hard-boiled eggs with salt. Yeah, again, time-pressed parents are really going to be fucking around with pancakes, hard-boiled eggs, bacon, etc. Bread, paste, bump, there are your sandwiches, there's an apple, there's a drink, there's a chocolate biscuit if you're allowed them. That'll do you. Good enough for me, it's good enough for you. But of course, this one's wife being completely detached from reality, mincing around in her kitchen, thinking, yes, scribble a little note in a poem, put that in their lunchbox, and organise a backpack surprise. And in their lunchboxes, give them breakfast for lunch instead. Yeah, okay, makes perfect sense. And here comes the pièce de résistance. She adds, and when in doubt, a few flour sprinkles are fun too. For fuck's sake. Could you imagine you're 6 years old and you open your lunchbox and you're wondering, Mum's spilt the gerbil food in here by mistake. What's all this? I'm not eating that. It's got gerbil food, rabbit food all over it. And then they come home crying because they're hungry, because they didn't eat their lunch. What's wrong, little Johnny? Why didn't you eat your lunch? Mum, there was all guinea pig food all over it. No, that was the flour sprinkles. I'm ringing child services. Ridiculous, preposterous. But there's more. Rose and Thorn. Yes, the madness continues. It's a classic, but sometimes we forget about this easy prompt. Taking the time at the end of the day to connect as a family and talk about your Rose and Thorn at dinner can be a wonderful way to bring everyone closer. You can even do this on the car ride home after the school day is over. Your Rose is a highlight of your day, and your Thorn is something that maybe didn't feel so good and that hurt a little bit. Sharing both is a great opportunity to talk about your days together. It's also better than the one-word answer you can get if you ask, "How was your day?" Well, yes. So you're expected when you go and pick up the kids, or when they've walked home or they've got off the school bus, "Hey, how was your Rose?" "What are you on about, you daft cow? Rose? There's nobody called Rose in my class." No. What was the highlight of your day?" "Well, why didn't you just ask me that? There wasn't any highlights. I went to school. I hate it. I'm going to my room to play on my Xbox. Goodbye." "Oh, hello, little Johnny. What was your Thorn?" "Sorry, what? What are you talking about, Mother? Have you been day drinking again?" No. I want to know, is there something that's hurt you a little bit?" "Yes, your stupid questions. I'm off now to go and watch television. Goodbye." You see, all of these suggestions excellently encapsulate the idiocy of this one's wife and how she operates in this flower-sprinkled, rose-perfumed bubble that is her mad world. That she thinks that parents have got the time to arse around with these suggestions. She doesn't do so. She just thinks these things up. The nanny and the housekeeper sort the kids out because she's not interested. But obviously her narcissism needs her to generate a facade of being the inspiration and loving mum that's got it all. And so she has to explain, these are the things that I do. She doesn't do these things. Harry's bombed out of his brains on the compost heap outside, and she's probably just about coming out of the fug of the night before. The kids, they've already gone, if they exist. They've been attended to by other people. And yet she needs you to believe that this is the idyllic life that she leads. It's horseshit. Utter asinine horseshit, generated by a woman who has no concept of reality because she operates through her own magical thinking and deluded mindset, and thinks sharing this kind of bollocks is going to cause people to go, "What a brilliant idea. She's an absolute inspiration." Instead, the reaction is precisely that of which you've heard from your glorious narrator. Back to school, she ought to be sent to school and start to learn how to deal with people properly. But we all know that can't happen. Her narcissism will prevent it. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.